Hello out there in the dating world, and I'm specifically talking about online dating. Yes, that topic that instills fear, that makes you sweat, that gets you all anxious. Online dating. Ah! It is a crazy, crazy world out there. Online dating is super, super crazy. So I just came back from a date. Already changed out of my cute shirt into my sweatshirt. I've got my tea. And we're going to talk about that date. We're going to talk about that. And talk about some really fun stuff about online dating. I admit, full disclosure, I might be a little tipsy. Blame it on the alcohol, Jamie Foxx. Blame it on the liquor. Yeah. Because I had two of those giant beer steins, like this big, like the big ones. And yeah, a little bit, might be a little bit tipsy. But that's okay. It makes me more fun and a little bit flippant and a little bit more relaxed in my conversation. Okay. Which brings me to our first topic, which is, what do you do for your first date, right? From online. Okay. You barely know this person. You've seen some photos. Maybe you've talked on the phone once. Do you really know this person? By the way, everyone can lie. And it's amazing. I went out with my friend last night and she's online dating. And oh my God, some women are so gullible. Like, she was like, oh, why would he lie? Honey, a lot of them lie. So I say, it's not about not trusting someone, but they are a stranger danger. So whatever they say, take it with a grain of salt. If they're like, I do this, and I'm divorced. They might not be divorced. They might be still married. Yeah. You never know if anything they're telling you is real. This is why you have to get to know them. This is why dating exists. This is why you have to meet in person, right? Yeah. Their photos might even be real. People say you do fake photos, doctoring them, using apps to make yourself look prettier, younger, thinner, whatever. There's people actually will also do completely fake photos where it's not them at all. So you might want to meet in person to make sure that hunky man that you're talking to every night is actually the hunky man. Okay, so first date, I never do dinner. And this is a whole thing. So guys are telling me that there's some women out there who insist upon the man taking them to dinner. Honey, sweetheart, girl, if you desperately need a free dinner, you need to go back and go inside here and figure out why you're a hot mess. Because if you need to go out with a stranger to get a free meal, if you desperately need a free steak or a free piece of chicken, you really got to get your act together. I would rather sit at home and make a beautiful dinner for myself, or even have like friggin' frozen pizza and watch Netflix than be on a bad date. It is heinous. It is torture. No. Hail to the no. So when you meet, within the first 5 minutes if you're even attracted to that person or if you even think they're nice or interesting. So if you don't have that chemistry and you don't like them, if you do a dinner date, you are stuck with that person for the full meal. And let me tell you, I've been on those dates. I've never eaten so fast in my life. I'm like shoveling the food down, like, great, I'm done, gotta go. So no, I don't do dinner dates. I meet for a drink because alcohol can be a good friend of yours when you're nervous, anxious, not sure about the person. If it turns out to be a horrible person, then the liquor does help a lot. So I meet for a drink. Then if the date goes well, the second date, you could do, dinner as your second date. But the first date is really like, let's meet this total stranger and see if they're even them. And if you have any chemistry whatsoever and all that good stuff. So I do a drink. If you want to meet for a coffee, whatever, that's fine too. I also would not recommend activities. Once I did like a hiking date. Oh my God, it was the longest hike of my life. He was he was just such a dork and just so not interesting. And it was literally like a 2-hour hike. And I was like, yeah, I also have zero patience. So I'll say that right now. And I'm not all a bag of chips and all that, but we all like what we like and we like who we like. So for me, he was not the right guy at all. And it was so boring and I had better things to do with my time. So yeah, some people are like, well, at least I get a nice hike out of it. So if that's your attitude, great, do whatever works for you. But for me, I'd rather hike alone. Say it again, rather be alone in my own company than in a forced conversation where you're like forcing the conversation to be like nice and interesting and all that baloney. I want to swear, but I guess YouTube is like cracking down on swearing. That sucks. I like swearing. Okay. So that's the first thing about the first date, right? Meet somewhere, you have a drink, whatever. Now, here's the other question. And then I guess, a lot of people really picky about where you're going to meet. That's fine. I get it. Meet in a public place. I said this before. Meet in a public place. Don't go to their home. Are you crazy? Meet in a public place. But, I've gotten less picky over the years about where to meet because it's like, just get the meeting done. So my date today was at Buffalo Wild Wings. I keep calling it Buffalo Bills. It's not Buffalo, it's Buffalo Wild Wings. And I've never been to Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't watch sports. Not my idea of fun. But I was like, sure, whatever. He picked it. I'm like, fine. We talked on the phone twice and he seemed interesting. So I'm like, okay, cute by his photos, blah, blah, blah. So he said he was 6'2". He's not 6'2". Men, stop lying about your height. Stop it. We can tell how tall you are when we meet you. And it's a disappointment when you say you're 6'2" and you wind up being 5'11". That is setting yourself up for failure. Why are you doing that? Why? Why are you lying about your height, man? Why? No, don't do it. So, we were like, he picked Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm like, fine. Meanwhile, I'm hungover because I went out with the gals last night and had fun. We went dancing. I had margaritas. It was super fun. I'm not totally hungover, but I was hungover a little bit. So I get into Buffalo Wild Wings and, it's a million TVs and it's so noisy. It's so friggin' loud. I was like, okay, so I'm adjusting to that, which is fine. No big deal. So my date arrives and, he does look like his photos. He was kind of a little bit of a Neanderthal-ish looking guy, but he was handsome in his photos. But in person, he was really Neanderthal looking. And hey, look, again, this is my opinion. So he might have said, oh, she's looks older than her photos, but even my photos are current. But whatever, everyone's got their opinion. This is my opinion. It's my damn show. So he looked like, what is that guy? Wreck-It Ralph? Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph. Is that the right thing? Yeah, I think so. It's a cartoon. And he looked like Wreck-It Ralph. So kind of big and, which is fine. But, so we get there. We're sitting down. And, I'm very polite and everything, but I know pretty soon in that, like, I'm not going to go on a date again with this person. He's fine. He's nice, but he's like, he's talking with his mouth full. One of my pet peeves, right? We're eating nachos and he's like licking his fingers and then he's putting his hand back into, it's like double dipping, but grosser. Because it's like his spit, saliva's all over. He's like licking his fingers from the nachos and then putting his hand back in the nacho. Ugh, it's kind of gross. Anyways, I'm nitpicking, right? That's what we do on dates, we nitpick. So welcome to it. So we have our date. By the way, he's looking the entire time at all the TVs around us. And I get it. Maybe he's nervous. At first I'm like, that's so rude. And then I'm like, look, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's nervous. And for him, this is a way to like relax, is to, have the distraction of all these television's around. I don't know, whatever, fine. So, but you know, it's not really engaging or interesting, and it's just kind of boring. So then the bill comes, and they set down the bill, and he kind of just looks at it. So I pick it up, and this is, we're going to get to payment, right? Paying of the date. And I say, oh, do you want to split it? And he's like, yeah, sure, let's split it. I'm like, great. Pull out my credit card, and I split it. So here's what I think, ladies, about that, and men. The first date, I think the men should pay. I'm sorry. Maybe it's old school, maybe it's traditional, but that's what I think, because the man should be courting the woman, and it should be like a traditional date. And no, you don't need to take her again to this big dinner. Take her for 2 drinks, 2 damn drinks. Is that so hard? Maybe 1 appetizer. What's it going to set you back? $40. If the girl isn't worth $40, you should not be dating her. Women, if you don't think you're worth $40 to $60, then you need to, again, go back and look at yourself and figure out your self-esteem, because you're worth that. You're worth that. Now, of course, if the date's horrible, he's rude, or you're rude, then yeah, you're paying for that. You're paying for your half of the date, and that's just the way it is. Or maybe you establish right off that you're like, yeah, you know what, I like you, but this is going to be a friend thing. Then yes, of course, you have to pay for your half. So I think you should go into your date, ladies. You always ask, you always offer to pay, because that's called being nice. And you should always expect that you very well might be paying. So you don't be shocked when they say, yeah, let's split it. You can't be shocked, because that's it's free will. They don't necessarily owe you anything. However, if they like you and they want to date you, then I think they should be a gentleman, and they should offer, and they should pay. I do think that. I want to know your thoughts on that, ladies, because that's what I think, but I want to hear what you think. If it's your opinion that you're like, oh, I'm an emancipated woman, woo, I'm going to pay every time, and I'm going to support my husband as he stays at home with the kids. Great, good for you. Do it. Cheers to you. But, courting is courting, and dating is dating, and I think it's a time when a man is supposed to be showing you that he is interested in you, and he should be wooing you a little bit. Hopeless romantic over here. So that's my opinion on that. So whatever, we paid, we split it, and then we walked, I'm like, great, I'm done. And we walked out, and he's like, oh, well, I'll walk you to your car. I'm like, oh God. Oh, and I've already, in my head, I'm already like, I'm not going on another date with this guy. And, so some people are like, well, why wouldn't you be honest and say, this has been nice, but I don't see us, dating. It's really awkward in person. So I want to tell you, gentlemen, this. She's probably never going to tell you right then and there that she doesn't want to go on another date with you. She is going to wait till she gets home and you ask her out again, and she's going to say no, or she's going to just disappear. And I've done that, and I think it's rude. It is rude. You get to the point where it's so awkward to sit there and explain to someone that you don't like them, you're not attracted to them. That is just, it's a horrible thing to do to somebody. So I will say, guys, I get it, or even also women too. You go on a date, everything seems great, and then you're shocked when they just disappear, or they don't ask you for another date, or she doesn't accept the next date. I'm sorry, guys, but no one's going to do it in person like, oh, yeah, I don't like you. Bye. It's very rare. Unless someone was completely so rude to me, I'd be like, yeah, you're rude, and I'm gone. I would walk the hell out of there. So that's how I feel. And then also, what else I have to say about paying? Yeah, so I think the guy should offer, and that's it. So this guy today walked me to my car. Awkward. And he gave me a peck. Now again, you guys can be like, well, that's leading him on. I just want to get it over with, to be honest. And with women, we've all been there. I give him a peck back. I'm like, great to meet you. Bye. And he's like, I'd love to do this again. And so, you say, and I know it's terrible. You say the usual thing. You're like, sure, I love that. I don't mean it. But what are you going to say in the middle of the parking lot? No, I don't want to go on a date with you. I don't have any chemistry with you. This is not going to happen. It is so friggin' awkward. So ladies, men, what are your comments on that? I want to know. Have you done that? Are you shocked? Have you been shocked when a woman didn't accept a second date? Let me know. So that was that today. The other topic I want to talk about, because the date I had before this one last week was with this guy. Again, it was a nice date. He was a nice guy. But there's one thing that really shocks me about men and probably also women in dating. Why don't men give compliments anymore? Sigh. Again, hopeless romantic over here, traditional. You need to give a woman a compliment. They love it. It's nice. It's a gentlemanly thing to do. I was on this date, and I said to him, I was like, I like your shirt. It's called being nice. How hard is it to be nice? He's just like, oh, thank you. Did not say one thing. Wasn't like, I love your hair. You're a great smile. Nothing. You're funny. Nothing. I got zero compliments. So I really don't like that, because I naturally give compliments to everyone I know. And of course, there needs to be genuine, but this guy was clearly interested in me and I got zero compliments. So I'm like, okay. The other thing is, guys, girls too, don't talk about only yourself for the entire date. Don't do it, please. Narcissist, self-involved. Oh my God, this guy went on and on and on about himself for the entire date. He asked me one question. He asked me what I did for work, told him I'm a marketing exec, and he was like, oh, that was it. Not one other question about it, nothing. Not where I'm from, not what school I go to, blah, blah, nothing. He asked me nothing. So why would I ever go on another date with someone who's completely self-involved? By the way, he used to be a pilot, and he was like talking about, oh man, in uniform, and yeah, when I was single, like the ladies love the uniform, blah, blah, blah. Ugh, whatever. I don't understand this like love of uniforms. Women, I know a lot of you are into it, police officer, pilot, military stuff. Honestly, I'm not into it. The uniform is nice, but it's not for me. It's not like a thing. So he was like, yeah, when I was a pilot and I was wearing my uniform, like it was like shooting fish in a barrel, getting dates. Just like, ugh. So that means you were a whore. That's nice. Whatever. But he went on and on and on. So again, don't just talk about yourself. So here's what we have. Let's do a recap, shall we? Pick, a nice little place. It doesn't have to be expensive to meet for a drink, coffee, fine. Number 2, give them a compliment, whatever. But, it needs to be genuine, but give them a compliment. Number 3, gentlemen, I think you should pay for the first date. Controversial? I don't know. I think it's pretty traditional, and I think it's not a big deal. Later in life, when you are together, you both will be sharing finances. You'll be sharing responsibilities for bills and things. So when you're courting her, yeah, that's how I feel. Okay, what else do I have on my list? And then the confrontation, right? Don't expect them to tell you right then and there that they are like not going to go on a second date with you. Probably not going to say anything. They're going to try to just like nicely get out of the date and finish it, go on their merry way. And I'm sorry, but that is the game of dating. That is how it works. Was any of this helpful? Is anyone else going crazy from online dating, or is it just me? Please let me know. Leave your comments. Let's help each other out. I'm open to suggestions and opinions and all that good stuff. So happy hunting out there. Good luck in finding love. This is Lindsley. Peace out.